Krishna will come to you in one of his almighty forms, like Vishnu or Shiva, where he's almighty and official like a king, but not approachable like he is as Krishna.
What do people usually do?
People have, there's no usual. It depends on people's desire, how they want to think of God, how they want to be with God. Yes.
What would you do?
I think of myself as a gopi. The only reason you're laughing is because you think I'm this body. Our Vedas say, Naivastri na pumaneshu. The soul is neither woman nor man. Soul has no gender. So we've been born as women infinite times and as men infinite times. So anyone, doesn't matter what your body is in this life, can think of yourself as Krishna's wife. You can think of yourself as he's your beloved. You can think of yourself as your brothers, whatever. It's up to you. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Yes?
Wait, so you see yourself as like...
With Madhuri Bhav. So when I meditate, I mostly think of Radha and Krishna. But if I think of myself joining in the Leela, then I'm a gopi joining the Leela.
Do you look like you?
No.
You don't?
No. Sometimes I might think of myself as me, but sometimes I think of myself as a gopi.
That doesn't look like you.
That doesn't look like me, no. Anything's possible in the divine world, but I've never heard of a bearded gopi. Or a bald gopi. So, where were we? Oh yes, talking about meditation. So, Krishna, what are the things he's told us that we have to do so far? He's giving us some general guidelines. Yes?
Always don't look to face Maya.
I mean, just when it comes, that's correct, but just when it comes to meditation. What has he told us? Yes.
Calmly.
Sit calmly. Yes.
Don't move.
Yeah, don't fidget too much. Try to sit calmly. Deepti.
Attach your mind to God.
Attach your mind to him. What else did he say? Yes.
Do it continuously.
Do it continuously. That's right. Don't do it for like 5 seconds and then say, okay, now I'm bored. Try to keep doing it for whatever time you're doing it. What else?
Self-control.
Control your mind. That's right. Because mind is going to be thinking about all the worldly things, so you have to make an effort to bring it from the worldly things and instead think of Krishna. Yes?
Bring Krishna to your heart.
Bring him in your heart, which means think of him lovingly. And think of him lovingly in what way? One of how many ways?
5.
One of 5 ways. Right. What were you going to say?
I forgot.
Okay. So in the next part, Shri Krishna says, Upavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye. By doing this, you purify your mind and you purify your heart. Same thing. Mind and heart are the same thing. So vishuddhaye means to purify.
You didn't do a matpara.
Matparaha means feel related to Krishna. That was why I started talking about the 5 relationships. And Vishuddhaye means to purify. So who wants to answer the last 2 blanks? Yes, Kushi.
The more you attach your mind to God, the more your mind purifies.
Right. The more you attach your mind to God, the more your mind purifies. We're just going to do the next 5 questions. Then we'll practice a little bit of meditation, and then we'll do Jeopardy.
Yes. You go first.
So some important points about meditation. Flip your page to page 2. This is just rewording what Shri Krishna said. So he's emphasizing on remembering him and loving him in his personal form. The word in Sanskrit is sakar, which means with a form. Yes.
Can you see Krishna as a girl?
Yes. Think of Radha, you're thinking of Krishna as a girl. That is Krishna as a girl.
So Radha is Krishna.
That's right.
So then
And if you want to think of Radha as a man, you want to think of Radha as a boy, think of Krishna. Because Radha is Krishna.
Did Krishna marry Radha?
No, that's what I
They see Radha and Krishna getting married happens sometimes in some of their, when they come and visit, when they take avatar. Sometimes they might do the leela of getting married, but it makes no difference because they're one, right? They're not two people, they're one and the same. So if they get married or they don't get married, it's all just a question of whether they felt like doing that leela or not.
And how do you know if they came on Earth?
Because the saints, oh, you mean if they came right now?
Yeah.
We wouldn't know.
Like if they were in this room right now, you wouldn't know.
Well, if they took avatar, that means they make themselves visible to our eyes.
Yeah.
So then we'd see them, but we would probably think, oh, you'd probably all think, oh, Nikhilanand Bhai arranged some kind of magic trick today, and he brought someone in dressed as Radha and Krishna or something. Remember I was saying you can't recognize them? Even if you see them, you won't actually believe you're looking at God.
Even if they're dressed.
Even if they're dressed as Radha and Krishna, because you'll think, oh, but they look just like me. I mean, they look like ordinary people. What's the big deal? That's what we would think. What's the big deal? So what? I saw God. Nothing happened to me. I still feel the same.
But you would know that you saw God.
You would know if someone told you. If some saint said, hey, don't you know this is God? And even then we'd say, what's the big deal? So now I saw God? What's all the fuss about? Because even though we saw God, we didn't really see God because we don't have divine eyes. So we didn't actually see God's divine beauty. So that's why we weren't that impressed.
Okay.
That's why you have to get God realized. You have to get divine eyes. Then you can actually experience God's divine beauty.
Have you seen God?
No. Yes.
Is it bad to like think that like what's the big deal? It's not God.
It is actually. It's not good because it damages your faith, right? Then you think, so why even bother trying to attain God? I saw God, nothing happened to me, so it wouldn't even help us. That's why people wonder, so if God can do anything, why doesn't he just come to me right now? Because instead of helping us, it would hurt us. We'd say, oh, okay, I saw God. So that's why he doesn't come to us. He says, you do your devotion, you get qualified to see me, then I'll come to you.
So he can't just come to you in a divine form.
He does come always in a divine form whenever he comes here. But he can't make you see him. He can't make you realize his divinity. You have to surrender and get divine eyes.
Oh, so he can only come if the same person is like there, the person with divine eyes will see them as divine,
And everyone else will see them as normal. Okay, so number 2, he's not, oh yes, so you got the personal form. He's not talking about meditating on one's soul. That's another way of meditating that some people do. That's not what Krishna's talking about here, because meditating on your soul doesn't purify your heart in the same way as meditating on God. Or on formless God. You know why I'm saying that? Although it is, some people do try to meditate on formless God. But here Shri Krishna is saying to love him. So can you love something formless?
No.
It's not possible. You need a form to love. So here Krishna is talking about loving him in his personal form, meditating on his personal form. Number 3, he emphasizes loving him and feeling related to him. Number 4, he is not saying to think about nothing, which is what most people think meditation is. Clear your mind, think of nothing. Even if you could think of nothing, thinking of nothing doesn't purify your mind. Thinking of God purifies your mind. So what's the big deal if someone can think of nothing? It doesn't get you any further ahead. You get temporary peace of mind as long as you're thinking of nothing, but then again you start thinking of something and you're still exactly the same as you were before. But if you think of God, you're actually changing your mind by purifying it. So you're becoming better. That brings us to number 5. The point of meditation is to purify the mind by attaching it to him. Once you've filled that out, I'd like you to close your notebooks or put your papers down, put your pencils down. But keep sitting right where you are, because we're going to do a little bit of meditation. So everybody put your papers and pens and pencils down.
And then go slideshow from beginning. And then enter. And then enter.
I'd like everybody to sit still, comfortably, but just still. You don't have, in this form of meditation, in this form of meditation, you don't have to worry about how you're seated, like there's no special pose, there's no special way you have to hold your fingers or your hands, just be comfortable. The point is that you're thinking of God. It doesn't matter what you're doing with your body, it makes no difference. But if you sit in a really lazy way, it tends to encourage your mind to wander. So for that reason, we try to sit alertly. Comfortably, you don't have to, adopt any kind of posture, but be alert. Sit alertly so that your mind realizes, okay, he means business. It's time to pay attention. Then you can close your eyes. And in this form of meditation that Krishna is teaching us, he's telling us to think of him. So that's pretty simple. You've seen pictures of Krishna. You've seen murtis, or deities of Krishna. Those are painted or carved based on the description of saints who have actually seen Krishna. And you can think of him in any age that you want. And when I'm saying Krishna, you can also think of Radha. You can think of just Krishna, just Radha, both Radha and Krishna. You can even think of any other form of Radha Krishna, that's fine. But for this meditation, we'll just keep it simple and think of Radha and Krishna. Choose an age that you want to visualize. It can be a baby, it can be young, can be a teenager, can even be older than that if you want, however old you want. So you're seeing him in front of you, and you also remember that the main point is your effort. Don't worry that are you imagining him in the right way, in the correct way. There's no right or wrong. He's going to grace you for your effort. So you try to think of him the best you can. If you have trouble and you want a little help, you can open your eyes just for a moment and look at the murti and then see, oh, okay, and then try to imagine Krishna like that in your mind. And then close your eyes again. So now that you have this visual image of Krishna in front of you, you have to add to that the feeling that he really is there. It's not a mental imagination. You're actually imagining the fact. You're thinking of him being in front of you, and he is in front of you because he is. He's everywhere. So it means he is in front of you. You're just having faith in the fact, and you're visualizing the fact that he's right there in front of you. That feeling is very important. The faith that he really is here, and you're seeing his divine form. So now that you have this image of Shri Krishna, you can also sense him being close. Meaning, when someone is close to you, you not only see them, you can also hear that they're close to you. You can hear the movement of their clothes when they move. You can hear their voice. You can hear the sound of their steps if they're walking. You can also smell the fragrance, although Krishna doesn't need to wear any perfume because he has a natural divine perfume coming from his divine body. So you can smell that. The beautiful fragrance of the flower garland that he might be wearing. And you can add to this that feeling of relationship. That's also important. So you see him, you feel that it's really him, he's really there. You can use all of your senses to sense his presence. And then also feel related, that he is yours in some way. Either he's your beloved, he's your child, he's your friend or brother, sister, he's your mother, father, master. That part's up to you. So this meditation that you're doing purifies your heart. You're actually thinking of Krishna and he's gracing you. And the more you do it, the more your mind becomes connected to him. So you're actually attaching your mind to Krishna bit by bit by doing this. So it's becoming more attached to him, getting more purified. And at a certain point, most people are able to really feel Krishna's presence and experience his grace in their heart, which feels like a feeling of happiness and comfort and security, joy. So this all happens the more you practice this meditation. You can also add something else to it. You can imagine some interaction with Krishna, meaning you can talk to him, you can play some game with him, you can give him a hug, you can serve him. Maybe you want to offer some food, cook food and offer it to him, offer him a necklace, put it around his neck, or a flower garland that you made, anything like that. Or even you might know of some Leela of Krishna and you really like that Leela and you can just visualize that Leela happening in front of you, or even you're a part of that Leela. So I'll let you keep doing this for another minute in silence. You can just continue with this meditation on your own in silence. open your eyes. So you all just did about a 10-minute meditation, which you can repeat anytime you want. And there's unlimited variations that you can have, because you can imagine any kind of interaction with Krishna that you want.
How was 10 minutes?
So even if you do this at home, before you go to bed, when you get up in the morning, or like I was saying yesterday, on your way to work or on your way to school, if you're not the one driving the car, it has an effect. It has a cumulative effect. So the more you keep doing it, it keeps adding up, and you keep getting more and more attached to Krishna. It's a very simple thing to do, but very few people in the world know how to do it in its pure form, how you just did. Most people add other things in, like while they're thinking of Krishna, they're asking him for some worldly thing. So then the whole thing is spoiled. It has to be in its pure form, like you just did, otherwise your mind won't purify. Thinking of God and asking him for worldly things doesn't purify your mind. Just loving him, how you are doing in this meditation, that purifies the mind. Of course, whenever I'm doing chanting, that's what you're supposed to be doing inside during the chanting. This same meditation I just taught you, and you did it in silence, you can do it while chanting their names. Radhe, Govinda, Radha, Krishna. The chanting helps a lot of people to be able to stay focused and do the meditation for longer. So whenever we do chanting, it's not just like we're singing, it's actually an aid in meditation. The meditation is the main thing, the chanting is secondary. So you have a question?
When you close your eyes and you do mala, is it the same thing? When you
See,
say Hare
doing-
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Doing the mala is a physical thing. It has nothing to do with whether you're thinking of Krishna or not. So nothing wrong with using the mala, just like nothing wrong with doing chanting. But the chanting is not purifying your heart. Meditating on Krishna is purifying your heart. So if the chanting helps you remember Krishna, helps you meditate on Krishna, do the chanting. If using the jap mala helps you meditate on Krishna, then use the jap mala. But it has no value in and of itself.
then you could be doing it and maybe your mind could be...
That's right. The physical act of moving the jap beads has no value in and of itself. Its only value is if it helps you stay focused on your meditation. Yes?
Chanting inside is okay. There's no talking mouth and silence.
That's right. Yeah. Any other questions about meditation? Yes.
Have you attained God?
No. But I'm farther ahead than I was 16 years ago when I started on this path. I know I've progressed because when I meditate, I feel more now than I did before. That's one of the ways I can tell. There are other ways. So I know I've progressed. My mind is more under control now than it was 16 years ago. Not under control, but more under control. Yes.
When you say control meaning you have more focus towards, you're more connected with God?
Yes. Yeah. And also during the rest of the day, I have more control over my mind in day-to-day activities than I did before. So we can start the Jeopardy.
Chapter 5 or 5, 6?
5.
Who goes first?
You have to turn the TVs on.
Who goes first? Last time adults were first.
Adults went first last week?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess the kids get to.
Just enter everything.
Kids were first. Oh, the kids were like, I know the first person.
Okay, so this is only chapter 5. So tomorrow we'll have the Jeopardy for the end of 5 and all of chapter 6. So this will be mostly from yesterday's actually. But you have to put your notes away. This is not an open book Jeopardy. This should be known by all now. Yes, you can be the captain. Yes. Karma Yoga. Yes, if you're doing your worldly duties with your mind attached to God, you are doing Karma Yoga, which means you're a Karma Yogi. Adults, if you're not involved in the world and your mind is attached to God, that is called, yes, Karma Sannyas. Yeah, all the kids should be in one huddle over here.
Mental attachment?
Okay, yes, Nidhi, you be the captain this time. What is the correct answer, A or B? So what's B? Say it out loud. Mental attachment, right. God gives the results of your mental attachment. Adults, how can you, or you can just explain what does it mean to do karma sannyas every day? Meaning, even if you have a family, yesterday I told you you should do karma sannyas for some time every day. What does that mean?
Take some time out from your daily life.
And do what?
Meditation.
Yes. That's it. And this time we'll make Hari. Hari, you be the captain. Consult with everybody and answer this question. What is it? How can you, or you can say, what does it mean to do karma yoga every day practically in your life? Consult with your team members. We know that karma yoga means having your mind attached in God while doing your worldly duties. I want to know practically, give me one way that you can do that.
Meditating.
Meditating is good, but meditating is when you're doing karma sannyas. You're totally stop all activities and you're just thinking of God.
While you're doing something.
This is a tough one. I mean, I didn't get into this. How can you meditate? If I say, okay, do your homework and meditate on Krishna. No one can do that, right? So doing your homework means you're doing something good in the world. You're doing your worldly duties, but you're supposed to have your mind attached to Krishna, right? So how do you do that? Yes?
You can listen to like spiritual music while doing your work or something.
Sure, that's one way. Yeah.
Ride to school or work, you could listen to.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yes.
Chant the name, keep chanting Krishna's name.
That's good. 1 second. Any more answers from the kids? Ashwin?
I just want to give them an example. A good way to do it is that when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, you're brushing your teeth thinking, I want my teeth to be bright and shiny so Krishna can enjoy my smile.
Yeah, see, everything you do, you try to find a way to bring Krishna into it. Like you're doing your homework, why am I doing my homework? I'm doing my homework because if I'm lazy, it's going to make Krishna unhappy. I want to work and do everything properly to make him happy, like brushing your teeth. That was a tough one. You can give them the points. They gave good answers. Okay, adults, did Krishna tell Arjun to do karma yoga or karma sannyas? Yes. Yes, karma yoga. In other words, he wouldn't let him run away from the battlefield. He said, you have to do your duty. What's the ultimate? This is kids, so let's, do you want to be the captain? No? Prisha, you be the captain. What is the ultimate result of doing karma yoga? What do you attain?
You attain God.
Yes. And adults, what is the ultimate result of doing karma sannyas? Yes, we'll also attain God. Okay, who's the you want to be captain? Okay, what is covering the soul?
Maya.
Maya, that's right. Adults, why is Maya covering the soul?
To turn away from the God.
That's right, you turned away from God. Who would like to be captain? Yes. So, what is your true identity? You're the soul, that's right. Okay, we'll let you out of the mental asylum now. You remember who you are. Adults, why does a person start thinking that he's the body? Yes.
Because he is in Maya.
Yeah, due to the effect of Maya.
This is due to
That's right.
Very good.
Oh, that was the daily double. The adults got 100 extra points. Okay, now, Varda, why don't you be captain? If we want Maya to go away, we have to do this. Yes, attain God. What's another way, according to our example, what I was saying, that we're turned away from God, that's why Maya is covering us, so then what do we have to do? What? Someone said it. You already gave the right answer, I just want you to give it in different words. Yes?
Get away from the light.
No, God does that. Someone said it already. Yes?
Turn towards God.
Turn towards God. That's
Very good.
which is just another way of saying attach your mind to God or surrender to God. Adults, why doesn't God just make us turn towards Him? This is for the adults.
He is everywhere.
Yes, free will, because we have free will. That's right. Ooh, this is a long one. Okay, kids. When a person believes, who's going to be the captain for this one? You haven't been the captain yet? Okay, you. When a person believes he is the physical body, then where will he try to find happiness? In God or in the world?
In the world.
In the world, that's right. I think that was it. There were only 3 columns of questions.
Yay!
But I'll give 2 more. One for the adults. When a person believes he is the soul, where will he try to find happiness? In God. That's right. And last question for the kids. I have to think of it. Oh, okay. Who's going to be captain this time? Tulsi? Okay, so the question is, when did the souls turn away from God? That's right. Okay, one more question. So since souls have been eternally turned away from God, it means they're under Maya since eternity. Do they have to stay under Maya for all eternity more going forward? No. Okay. Good job. Who won?
The kids.
The kids won? How's that possible? The adults got the daily double. Oh, it was tied? Up until then? I think we have to leave it as a tie today.
Thanks to Sonia.
Dharma.
That's magic. I don't know how you won when the adults got the daily double. Yes.
The question we had here, why doesn't God make us turn to Him?
He wants us to have control.
The question we had here, can you please explain again, why doesn't God
Someone's asking a question. You all have to be quiet.
why doesn't God make us turn to Him? Can you please explain what is the answer to that?
Because we have free will. So God doesn't make us do anything. He doesn't make us do good actions. He doesn't make us do bad actions. He doesn't make us stay turned away from Him. He doesn't make us turn towards Him. It's all up to us. You guys have to be quiet. Excuse me. So did you understand that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Tomorrow's going to be the last. Tomorrow's going to be the last day of this class, and the time is